Today we will be talking and we will be learning about this great book, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. How it relates to jazz, when it relates to jazz. Just really deep. The reason I want to use the background, we listen to, I'm going to cut this down a little bit. This is Detroit talent. This is Gil Evans Orchestra with the great Kenny Burrell, Thad Jones, Hank Jones. This is an orchestra. And we're talking about leadership. And we can just sit back and talk about all the great bands, but I want to just go through this, and I'm going to break it up in 12 units. It's 48 laws. And as I do, I will sprinkle in some Detroit jazz facts. How does one keep a jazz group together as Duke Ellington did for 50 years? How does one keep motivating his or her employees? This is a Jazz 313 Leadership Edition. I'm big into leadership. Those who know I was a principal, I was a salesman, I was a business owner, presently manages money for a big family in New York, managing a private equity fund. But this is my passion. This is what I do, try to uplift Detroit. But again, let's start with the show because it's going to be kind of long. Law number 1 in the 40, never outshine the master. If you're in Dizzy Gillespie's band, or Duke Ellington's band, never outshine the master. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Law number 3, conceal your intentions. Some people are small-minded and want to hold you back. Just go in and learn everything you can. I can remember I was working at a school, Detroit McKenzie. Everybody was saying, man, that principal is using you. But no, my intentions was never to be a dean of students. My intentions were to be a principal. So I've learned on the job almost for 5 years for free. I should just pay Dr. Bonham, God bless his soul. Law number 4, always say less than necessary. That's a problem for me because I like to talk. But remember, the less you say, the more you win in life and in anything. Remember this. Always say less than necessary. Law number 5, never so much depends on your reputation. Guard it with your life. Somewhere in Proverbs, they say a good name is worth its weight in gold. Remember that particular principle. This book you need to go get. If you want to be cheap, get it on Kindle. Rule number 6, court all attention at cost. Everything is judged by appearance. What is unseen counts for nothing. That's what I tell people. Why should I sit on this knowledge and just let it go? My job is to give the community and give my audience and give my future leaders all the knowledge I know. So on this particular journey, this is 48 Laws of Power. I read this book and I read it quite often. The music in the back is big band, orchestra music, jazz. You know, you got different idioms. People love bebop, people like cool fusion. But I'm not trying to cater to people. I just want to just give good knowledge out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, click off. The next one is number 7 law. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. I've seen people in corporate settings sit back and give away all their secrets, and you get into the meeting and the guy take all the credit for what you did. So my point is this here. When you get other people to do, I find that a little bit deceitful, but I just want you to just watch what people do, because people will steal your ideas and go present it to the board like it's their idea. And we'll get a promotion and you'll be sitting back mad. That won't solve any problem, but you need to understand. Rule number 8, law number 8, make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. When you force other persons to act, you are in true control. It's always better to make your opponent come to you. Remember, if you got to beg for a sale, you should have something to offer where they need you. Every business I have been in, we sell out. Budweiser sold out. Avis sold out. When I was in the tree business, I kept 50 customers just on cue. People come to you because you're good. They don't care about price. Only cheap people care about price. People care about quality. As long as you got a quality product, they're coming to you. People don't ask how much a Rolex costs, how much a Rolls Royce costs. I want that. That's the end of that. That's the way you should run your business and run your life. Rule number 9, win through actions, never through argument. The Bible say quickly agree with your adversaries. I say I don't have to persuade you or argue. If I show you a dirty glass and a clean glass, a fool know what is best. But look at this beautiful picture. Harriet Tubman, she didn't argue with nobody. She said, you either gonna go or you gonna get this shotgun and you're gonna keep moving. So some people you gotta leave where they at. You got to love them, but you got to understand these rules. Rule number 10, infection. Avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. Always say, avoid the negative and the broke and the person with no vision. But my man Green say, inflection, avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. Because misery loves company. As my mom used to always say, if you play with a dog, you will get fleas. So you got to be very, very careful of who you let into your circle. The music in the back is just some old school. We listen to a little Count Basie also. Number 11, learn to keep people dependent on you. To maintain your independence, you must always be needed and wanted. If you have skills, they come into you. Law number 12, use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. One sincere and honest move will cover a dozen of dishonest moves. Open-hearted gestures of honesty and generosity bring down the guard of even the suspicious people. So sometimes you got to bring a dinner. Bring a lunch, bring a gift card. But as we look at this leadership piece, I am really amazed at what Duke Ellington did. Duke Ellington kept Billy Strayhorn with him for 50 years. He kept Ben Webster with him for 40 years. You talk about leadership. He has something to offer. He gave people something to offer. Again, if you like what I'm talking about, these 48 rules of power, these are not my rules. This is just something I'm giving you that I figure that you would probably need to move ahead. Please click, subscribe, and share. And I'm very grateful for the people who've been on this journey. Keep pushing this information out to people. We don't get any money. We're not asking you to buy anything, a t-shirt. We're not asking you to do anything. We just want you to just spread knowledge and spread love. If you can see this book. The next segment, we'll be going through on number 13 through 34. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. Number 7, pose as a friend, work as a spy. Playing basketball, I watched a lot of film. Studying, when I was at Anheuser-Busch, I knew what Miller was doing, what Coors was doing, what Stroh's was doing. Stroh's don't even make it anymore. But you need to understand your opponent. When you get a chance to take your enemy out, crush them. Number 15, crush them. When I go on these hikes and I see the wild wolf, the wolf, he don't play no games. He crushes his enemy. He crushes him. So when you're trying to fight for marketplace, whether you're running a school, whether you're running a landscaping service or Girl Scout cookies, you want to always remain dominant, but you can only do it with people. With somebody trying to question your authority, you work through it, but if it's not working, you crush them. There's just no question. I said that. This in the book. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Sometimes scarcity is the best policy. When you're too available, people take you for granted. Let people solve their own problems. Let them figure it out. I remember as a young man, I used to tear up my grandfather's equipment, and he would always say, figure it out. I ain't going to be here for the rest of your life. And that would scare me. I didn't understand. But you need to let your kids grow up. You need to let your employees grow up, because we're all leaders. Everybody's a leader if you think you're a leader. You remember we talked about that 80-20 rule, but we're talking, this program is for leaders, for doers. But we listen to this jazz in the back. We're learning some knowledge. That's what this whole thing is about for me. Number 17, keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate the era of unpredictability. Whether you Prince, Michael Jackson, Miles Davis, always Pat Metheny. I find the reason why I love Pat Metheny and Keith Jarrett, those guys always moving. When I listen to Count Basie, there's certain entertainers I feel like was like my kindred soul. You know, John Coltrane, Master P, Count Basie, Pat Metheny. These guys are so unpredictable to you just gotta follow him like Ali. Just you want to follow Ali to see if he's gonna get beat up. But this next law is do not build a fortress to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. No man, no organ, the heart can't live, the brain can't live without the circulatory system, the skeletal system. So don't isolate yourself. Number 19, know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. I can remember when I was a principal, I had people come in asking me, was I a coach? And, you know, it didn't offend me, but after they was disrespectful, assuming, stereotyping, but you gotta know who you're dealing with. In most organizations, the secretary is the gatekeeper. My secretary, I didn't know how to transfer a phone. I'm not gonna hold you up. When she was absent, I was lost. Know who you're dealing with. Sometimes the person with the title is not the power, the secretary is the power. Sometimes the security guard, but it's up to you to use your mind. This next one is don't commit to anyone. Be your own person. Be like an eagle. Soar on your own volition. Number 21, play the sucker to catch a sucker. Seeing dumber than people make you. Sometimes I play the poor country boy role. People ask me dumb questions. I had a guy ask me once, have I ever been to Chicago? And I said, look, my ego almost got away, but tell me about it. I go to Chicago just for the drop of a hat. But anyway, after he found out I've been all over the world, he came back, will you? I said, no, because in your mind, you put me down, but you didn't get a chance to know. You got to know your opponent. You got to know who you're dealing with. This book by Robert Greene will tell you, law number 22, use the surrender tactic, transform weakness into power. I don't believe in that one. Concentrate your forces. Sometimes it's like the David and Goliath story. He didn't have the muscle, but he had one rock and he was accurate with that one resource. Sometimes you don't need a lot. I've seen people go out and build companies, go spend $1 million buying stuff and don't even make $100,000. I've seen people don't spend no money and make $1 million. Sometimes use a Kinko's office. People think, even this production here, I had a guy who wanted to charge me $5,000 per episode. This is so simple. Anybody can make a YouTube channel, but you got to read, you got to understand. Play the perfect courtier. I really didn't like that one, so I'm going to read that one to you. The perfect courtier thrives in a world where everything revolves around the power and political dexterity. He has the master of art of indirection. He flatters, yields superior. No, that's a bootlicker. We don't do that one. But anyway, it's in the book. I don't know why you put it. We're not kissing nobody's booty or nobody's body parts to get ahead. If we can't get ahead on our merit, we don't deserve the job. The next one, before we take another little in jazz interlude, recreate yourself. You got to always evolve. Life is evolving. Your cells are evolving. Your heart, every minute, 45 gallons of blood is pumping through your body. You got to move. You got to recreate yourself. You got to change. I'm not saying go do nothing dumb, go buy a vet and dress up in rap clothes, but you got to always use your mind. It's either like muscle, you like a jump shot. The more you practice, the better you get. I used to tell the kids who skip school, you're good at playing hide and seek. That's all they do. Some guys skip in the gym, they should be good at basketball if you skipped all day. If you don't do nothing but go to the casino, you should be good at that. But you got to recreate yourself. You got to keep growing. You either grow or you die. Let me get into my little jazz thing and then we'll close this thing out. The next one, we talk about Fletcher Henderson. He was the original out of New Orleans. He didn't last that long. 1920. Gil Evans, him and Miles Davis did The Birth of Cool. Thad Jones and the Thad Jones Male Orchestra. Orchestra, they performed always until he died at the Village Vanguard in New York City. I mean, Thad Jones and Mel, you need to YouTube Thad Jones Orchestra. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I ain't gonna give you a speech on that one. The next one is Benny Goodman. I mean, Benny Goodman was well, I like Benny Goodman. He was the first one who integrated, believe it, they had racism. That's why I say jazz is American music. He was the first guy who brought Teddy Harris, a black musician, into his band. Now, that was controversial back in the day. So Teddy Harris was like the Jackie Robinson of jazz in some circles. Dizzy Gillespie, he did the African-Cuban. I'm so excited. They have Cucho Valdez. He's going to be the head guy for Detroit, Jazz. I'm gonna be at every one of those. I was gonna go out to LA to see this guy. So Dizzy Gillespie did so much for music. I didn't know until I was reading last night. Count Basie was in, Quincy Jones was in the Count Basie's band, which is crazy because Quincy Jones created Michael Jackson, created Les McCann, was a partner with Ray Charles, Greg Fillinganes, Marcus Melvin. A lot of Detroit people come out of that tree. So I'm kind of excited about that. You know, I love Detroit. I love all cities, but I'm just kind of biased toward Detroit. Just keep it for real. 48 Laws of Power. If you like what we're doing again, please click, subscribe, and share. Click that button and let me know that you like this stuff. And let me close out this next segment. I'm going to just go real quick. We're on 20. Keep your hands clean. Granddaddy say, don't touch no wooden nickels and don't take no dollars out the till. I see a lot of people go to jail, lose their reputation. Play on other people need to believe you create a culture, a cult-like following like Madonna. Enter the actions with boldness, that's 28. Number 29, plan all the way to the end. I hate people who incomplete. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Do it like George Gervin. Control the options. Get others to play the card you just like in basketball. If I seal you on the baseline, I'm shutting down your options. Or also, as a basketball player, I can't just live with one move. I got to have more moves. Number 32, play the people fantasies. People got big egos. Sometimes you got to play up to them to get what you want. Number 33, discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a weakness, a gap, and a castle. I don't care where you go. I don't care how many Secret Service. It's like a kid. I don't care what kind of policy we have. Kids gonna work around it. My neighbor, she would always tell me, you gotta find out what cookie people like to get them to do what you need to do. So it's up to you as a leader to find out what your employees, the old school of basketball, the old school of business, you got to cater to your talent, not to your program. That's what I believe. But anyway, 48 Rules of Power. We're gonna move through this thing. Number 34, be in your own fashion. Act like a king and be treated like one. Always dress the part. Master the art of timing. Never seem to be in a hurry. Law number 36, disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. By acknowledging a petty problem, you give it existence and credibility. Sometimes the Bible say, agree with your adversary. Sometimes ignore foolishness. Number 3, create compelling spectacles. Striking imagery and grand symbolic gestures create the aura of power. That's this Harriet Tubman. Wow, that picture is so beautiful. My man wrote it. You want to always present yourself in the best way that you possibly can. I'm not saying you got to go, I don't have to go to the hair shop, but people do. Think as you like, but behave like others. That's number 38. Stir up the waters to catch a fish. You gotta, you know, insanity is doing the same thing. You gotta go and do something different. I always want to climb the highest mountain. I want to go to the biggest sea. I'm a thrill seeker. I can't just do the same thing. I may eat the same foods for just dietary reasons. I may wear the same, I got 100 blue pinstripe suits. But my point is, you got to move and you got to stir up your organization. You got to stir up people to make them get off their comfort zone. Despise a free lunch. I tell my kids, I tell everybody, what is offered for free is dangerous. Whether it's welfare, anything somebody give you, they can take it away from you. I believe in the natural order. If you don't work, you don't eat. I don't believe in free. I don't believe in parasites. I despise parasites. I despise a free lunch. There's nothing free in life. The electricity that we're coming through you, it costs money. The heat costs money. This book costs money. This glasses cost money. Everything has a cost. Don't sell yourself and don't let nobody give you nothing. Earn your own. Rule. Oh, I got to read that one to you again because I love that one. I don't like all of them. Rule 40, Rule 40, Rule 40. If you don't read nothing else, read Rule 40. Despise a free lunch. Avoid stepping in the great man's shoes. I seen when Bo Schembechler died, they put a coach there with Phil Jackson. It's kind of hard to come behind Vince Lombardi or Miles Davis, but avoid that if you can, because sometimes you can be pigeonholed and you won't get your next break. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Whenever you have a problem, I see what the wolves do and the lions do. Been on safaris in Nairobi. Go for the biggest and the baddest. And everybody else will scatter when you see rip his head off as far as business. Be the dominant one. 48 laws of power. It's all about growing your organization, growing you as a person. I have employees. I have frank conversations. I ask them, I don't believe in writing people up. Look, you're either going to do what I need you to do or do me a favor and just leave. If you don't, I will push you out the door. Some kind of way you will leave. I'll make it uncomfortable. Number 43, work on the hearts and the mind of others. Coercion creates a reaction that will eventually work against you. I don't believe in all that Gaddafi stuff, Fidel Castro stuff, Saddam Hussein, Putin. I mean, Putin is crazy. I don't believe in bullying. I believe in Margaret Thatcher thinking. I believe in finessing people. Reverend Knight, I believe in making you do what you want to do with words. If I have to make you do something, that's not even any fun for me. But we have one more. Again, thank you who stayed the whole time. I know we probably over 10 minutes, but this book was just so much. We talking about jazz, and we talking about how did Duke Ellington, that's amazing to me. How did Duke Ellington keep that group together? But I got 3 more to go, and we're finished. But thank you again for staying with me. Number 44, disarm and infiltrate with minor effect. That means disarm your enemy. Number 4, preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. That's what people do, come in and just throw everybody's book away like they've never been doing anything. Never appear to be too perfect. That's number 46. Some people get uppity, act like they fart, don't stink. Be human, be real. Do not go past the mark you aim for. In victory, learn when to stop. It's almost like if we win the game, don't gloat. I remember my basketball coach, we went all the way to the state finals, and we lost. But guess what, though? The teams we beat on the way, we shook their hands, and we went in the locker room and celebrated. We did not gloat. I remember we did that once. We beat River Rouge in 78 on our way, and I took the trophy and ran around acting like a fool. He didn't beat me up like he normally do, but he said, look, Kenny, we don't gloat. Get the trophy, shake hands, and go. That was what I always maintained, a regalness, an elegance. Before I ever read this book, the book wasn't even out when I was playing ball. In college, it was all business. But my point is, in number 47, win and get out the way. Number 48, assume formlessness. By taking a shape, by having a visible plan, you open yourself up for attack. Instead of taking form of your enemy grasp, keep yourself adaptable and on the move. A friend of mine, I'm gonna keep this book up, he asked me, what is your goal with Jazz 313? I told him, I don't make goals. He said, what? I say, no, I don't make goals, not because I don't make goals. My goal was so small when I came up, that's all I wanted to do is work at a factory. God have taken me all over the world. All over the world. I don't even want to sit back and be braggadocious. I'm just a blessed man. So I don't ask God. I just say, God, let me do your will. I don't give myself Kenny McFall limitless goals. I just do God's will. Again, help me share this message. 48 laws of power. Whoops, I should drop that paper. 48 laws of power. And I hope you admire my art, and I hope you like this message. Until we meet again, God bless you and peace. I love you.